Heartbreaking first look at EastEnders' funeral with final goodbye to Martin Fowler. The beloved character was killed in the soap's landmark 40th anniversary live episode, with a metal beam trapping him. Having declared his love to Stacey Slater, the pair were cruelly ripped apart, with Stacey's blood-curdling screams echoing across Albert Square. Now, a community is in mourning, and new filming pictures show a carriage carrying a floral "Daddy" tribute alongside a framed photo of beloved Martin. There are also tributes, flowers and messages to Martin in the marketplace, with stallholders coming together to mark the passing of one of their own. It's a day that will haunt those who love Martin, from Stacey herself and his daughter Lily and children Arthur, Hope and Roman, through to his close friend and mother of his other daughter Bex, Sonia Fowler. Ruby Allen will also be in bits, as she thought she had a future with him when he died, with her even mentioning the possibility of wedding plans. Not only that, but many of the locals adored Martin, including cousin Ian Beale and close friends Sharon Watts and Zach Hudson. Viewers will also see Vicki Fowler make a comeback to see off her uncle. Now played by Alice Haig, she will be joined by new boyfriend Ross and her son Joel. Speaking of their arrival, after which they plan to settle back into the area, outgoing EastEnders boss Chris Crenshaw said, "We're delighted to have the very talented Alice, Alex and Max with us. Vicki is back under the most tragic of circumstances, representing her distraught mum Michelle, and she's changed a lot since we last saw her. We're excited to let viewers get reacquainted with Vicki and to introduce Ross and Joel to the square. It won't be long before Vicki and this new branch of the Fowler family are making waves in Walford. Viewers can expect to see the funeral scenes get underway next month." Previous Martin Fowler star breaks silence on traumatic EastEnders death. James portrayed the beloved character in the BBC One soap from 1996 to 2007. In 2014, Martin returned to Walford, but James By had taken over the role. James then played Martin up until last week, when Albert Square resident was killed off. Martin died as a result of crush syndrome. He had become trapped under a beam following the Queen Vic explosion, and at first, it looked as though Martin was going to survive. A paramedic then explained to Stacey that when the beam is removed from Martin's legs, toxins will flood his body and cause intense pain. This ultimately led to him dying, moments after he confessed he was still in love with Stacey. The death caused a massive reaction from the EastEnders audience. Among those sharing their thoughts on Martin's final scenes was James Alexandru, who wrote on his Instagram stories recently, "Somehow I reckon I'll still be asked, when are you going back to EastEnders?" Over the weekend, EastEnders confirmed the return of 2 characters for Martin's funeral, as well as 2 new faces. Jasmine Armfield will briefly reprise her role as Martin's daughter Bex Fowler, while Alice Haig will join the cast as Vicki Fowler, Martin's niece. Alongside Vicki will be 2 new faces, Ross and Joel. Ross, played by Holby City and the Bill's Alex Walkinshaw, is Vicki's new partner, while Joel is Ross's son. EastEnders confirms another returning character for Martin's heartbreaking funeral. "It's amazing for me to come home." The iconic character passed away following the dramatic explosion at the Vic during Thursday's, February 20th, live episode, bringing an end to James By's 11-year stint in the role. As Walford comes together and mourns the loss of a valued member of the community, it was announced on Saturday that Martin's niece Vicki would be returning to Albert Square after 21 years away. The soap has now confirmed that Bex, Martin's daughter, will return to East London for a short stint to honor her father's memory, with Jasmine Armfield reprising the role she last played in 2020. "It's wonderful to be back at EastEnders and to see so many familiar faces," said Armfield. "It's amazing for me to come home. But for Bex, it's an absolutely devastating time because she's lost her dad. She's grown up a lot, having spent the past few years traveling. So we're going to see a much more mature and grown-up version of Bex this time around," continued the star. who debuted on the soap in 2014. "We're delighted to welcome Jasmine home to EastEnders as part of Martin's farewell," added executive producer Chris Clenshaw. "There's no way that Bex would miss her dad's funeral, and Sonia needs her eldest daughter more than ever. It's been 5 years in which Bex has gone out into the world, so she'll come back with renewed wisdom and experience," continued the producer, who is due to leave his role in the coming weeks. Bex's return will see her reunite with her mother Sonia, who had her own tumultuous journey as she gave birth to Julia in the rubble of the Vic. In addition to being distraught over Martin's death, Bex will reportedly be hit hard as she attempts to adjust. Whilst Bex's impending return will air in the near future, the soap unveiled a brand new clip from Monday's episode via its social media accounts, with a hospitalized Sonia informing Bex of her father's passing during a phone call. EastEnders fans uncover intriguing mystery about newcomers Ross and Joel. Over the weekend, it was revealed a recast Vicki Fowler would be returning to Walford following the death of her uncle Martin Fowler in last week's live episode. However, she won't be alone as she will be joined by her new partner Ross and his son Joel, played by former The Bill and Holby City actor Alex Walkinshaw and newcomer Max Murray. Ross and Joel's arrival will be a shock to Vicki's half-sister Sharon Watts and Alfie Moon, as Vicki was last heard to be living in Australia with Alfie's brother Spencer. Following the news, some fans noticed how Ross and Joel had not been given surnames in the official BBC announcement and wondered if that could tease a potential link they already have to some other Walford locals. On Reddit, one fan posted, "I've seen a few comments of people questioning why Ross and Joel don't have surnames. Do we think there's more to it, or it's just because they haven't been introduced or featured in the credits yet? I don't think he's Vicki's son, so not sure they would do a real father twist with him. So maybe they just haven't revealed the surname yet." Another wrote, "We were all caught off guard with the new Mitchells. So being I hope these aren't new Brannings or Slaters. Lol. It will be good to have real new blood on the square." However, one fan then claimed, Joel's actor put in his Instagram bio that he will be playing as Joel Marshall. Edit. He has since removed this. I wonder why. Speaking about his character, Alex described Ross as a decent, hard-working family man. He added, "He always puts family first, and he is very in love with Vicki. But it's not always plain sailing." Vicki, the daughter of Michelle Fowler and Den Watts, was last seen in Walford in 2004. Scarlett Alice Johnson was the last actress to play her, but upon her return to Albert Square, she will be played by Alice Haig. EastEnders executive producer Chris Clenshaw said, "Vicki is back under the most tragic of circumstances, representing her distraught mum Michelle, and she's changed a lot since we last saw her. We're excited to let viewers get reacquainted with Vicki and to introduce Ross and Joel to the square. It won't be long before Vicki and this new branch of the Fowler family are making waves in Walford."
Các bạn vừa theo dõi một sản phẩm của EastEnders Trailer TV. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn.